The peach capital of the state, baby. All right, boys and girls. How's everybody doing today? I have had a headache all dab-lam day. So, what's everybody working on? I've been working on a little bit of everything. Button up a little stuff on the Impala. Button up a little bit of stuff on the Impala. I got to send some stuff over to the client and let them know where we're going. And better turn that bad boy off. Back, Jack. So, I've been doing something that I'm not a real big fan of. Wiring. So let me show you what I got going on. So I've been doing, Lord help me. Let me see what I got going on. All right, I'm back. So I've been doing this lovely stuff, which is interesting. So here's the Dakota Digital sensor pack. All these sensors. Not using them because everything's already been used by the Holley system, the Holley Terminator system. So therefore, can't use those. So I mean, you can't put a water sensor. Can't put the water temperature sensor in because the water temperature sensor is already in for the Holley Terminator X system. So what you have to do is you have to get this right here, this BMI 012 Holley interface pad. So this is for the gauge cluster, and everything plugs in to this to make the gauge cluster win. Makes the gauge cluster work, but to read the data off of the Holley Terminator computer, you got to have this interface. And then, then you have to take all these bus plugs and plug them up. So this plug here, no, that's not it. Don't want to lose nothing. There's the buzzer. The dreadful buzzer. So I am looking for part number. That's not it, Jay. I am looking for harness adapter 394241A. 241. Anyways, so yeah, boy. That's not it. This is 394213. I don't know what that's for. I've been looking for, I know you have a life, man. What you been looking for? What you been looking? It's been crazy around here, man. What you been looking for? So on this harness right here, it says I gotta have 394241 alpha. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I just opened this pack. Y'all just seen me cut it open. And I don't have that. That's the buzzer. I just opened this. I literally just opened this box. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is either. All right, so all right, check this out. I think they. Oh, you meant live. Oh, yeah. Man, it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. 394213. That's not even on the paper. All right, and this one right here is 394214. So that plugs into that. So let's take a ride. Oh man, I've been busy. The reason why I hadn't been live is because I've been working on this and some other stuff. But this right here is supposed to plug into that, and then that's supposed to plug into that, and that ain't gonna plug into that. I'm gonna go and tell you right now, I ain't even gonna waste my time. So I called Dakota before. That's why I was a little late. Hold on a second. I'll show you here in a minute, boss man. All right, so this cord here is 394214. That's not the cord. That's not the right cord. All right, so that goes back in there. This interface cord is 394213. That's not the right cord. So don't need that one. All right, and then there's a little white one. Where'd the little white one go? Oh, there it is right there, little white one. Let's see if the little white one has got there ain't nothing on that one. Jimmy Crack Corn. Oh, this is for early Dominator. I don't have a Dominator. I got a Terminator X. So don't need that. There's the buzzer, so when you open the door, it's like meh or whatever. So I was trying to figure out were 394241 alpha, which is this one right here. I don't know if y'all can see that right there. Let me see. I don't know. So, no, Jay, you bent the paper, you big dummy. All right, see this one right here? That's the harness that I need. And it has those two there, and then it has that piggyback. The reason why that little kickoff is because this is for the gauge cluster, all right? Y'all ready for this? It's crazy how much stuff costs, man. This is the gauge cluster for that 68C10 I'm about to show you. And this runs this. Well, to get the data, like for your temperature, speed, fuel, pressure, and all that, you would normally, hook in your wires to this and then hook them up to these sensors. Well, since somebody just shot. All right, so let me get my fingerprints over there. So this computer, this Terminex computer, Max, here is the handheld, right? And the handheld is plugged in right here. Well, that harness that I need plugs this in, but gives me a piggyback where I can plug in that bus. So the computer can tell the signals to that controller, which is, boy, ain't that thing pretty, which it will send a signal to here. Therefore, it will transfer that signal to here, which will go to here, which will take the place of all this and make all this work. Make your oil pressure, your fuel, your temp, your voltage, your tack, and then I'll have to hook this up. So, that's that. Now, here's more. If we didn't have enough instruction manuals, here's another instruction manual where all of this stuff. Yay. I'm waiting on the fuel stuff so I can hook the fuel up. Waiting on the bracket for the AC compressor. Here's the harness, right? All of that good stuff. See, and then once everything's done and fired up or crank the engine up, then we'll pull exhaust and have it ceramic coated. But see, here's a sensor here. Whew. And then I'll have to pull the sensor right down there, the transmission sensor for the transmission. Got this in today. Got a bunch of stuff in today so I can mount the steering column, get that mounted. This is a 68 C10 with a custom built 6.0 from TKM Performance in Denton, and it's supposed to be a monster. And it is a 5-speed transmission. So, I was gonna blow all this stuff off before I got live, but it is what it is. So, here is the sensor, more sensors, more plugs, and then I got a mess. So, that's that. And more wiring, more plugs, more harnesses. Man, more. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. If anybody's going to do a, I just got my pulse on the 83, has a 4-drive tram, changing the file. He's complete. 53 Dodge what? A truck, car, airplane, spaceship? What'd you get? What'd you get? So, let me show you what this thing is. Truck, cool. Yeah, see, it's got aluminum drive shaft. It's got a 12-bolt Moser rear end. It's something. So this truck here, I'm just gonna call it like it is. Here, I'm gonna show you this gauge cluster again. Here it is. It's so nice, so nice. And I got that. I gotta get. Y'all pray for me. Not gonna be able to use this because this right here is for manual, or this is for. Hold on a second. Universal gear shifter sender. Lord have mercy. I got to do this in 2. Universal gear shifter sender. Lord have mercy. Man. Got all this today. Got all this too. Well, that's cool. All you got to do is scuff and shoot it. got all that stuff today, got that stuff, I've had that for a while. So I'm gonna be straight up with you about this truck, this 68 C10. I've been on it for a minute. Super great client. All my clients are great. Super great client. I had been taking a break on it here for a while. I ain't gonna lie. Had some other stuff going on. Little stuff hemmed up here and there, whatever. But it seems to me, I don't care what side of the fence you on, I don't care where you're standing, I don't care what kind of bird you are, I don't care if you're left wing, right wing, center wing, independent, I don't care who you are. All I know is the phone is ringing and people want to spend some money. So, and they tell it, I don't ask it. They say, we are so happy with the way the election turned out. And I said, well, that's good to hear. And we ready to spend some money. I was like, and Jay's ready to take it. So, nah, it is what it is. You know, some people are happy, some people are mad. You know, that's the whole thing about winning. You know, whole thing about winning and losing. You know, I'm ready for this Mike Tyson and Jake fight coming on. I tell you what, I'm a fan of Mike Tyson from way back. He lost his son on a treadmill, man, and it just devastated him. And I know all about that. So, but anywho's, give you a little update on the square body. If you want to eat left-handed Skittles, taste Skittles. Man, I used to love them Skittle commercials. They'd come out and go, taste the rainbow. All right, so check this out. So, I don't understand why these are the way they are, but that's okay. I'm going to put them in the saw, and I'm going to cut these flat. I'm going to cut these flat across. And so basically how you see this, now this is way too long. I'm going to have to cut it. I'm going to have to get the truck at ride height. And this, I'm going to have to kind of just, this should have been radius just a little bit to fit the rear end tube. And like this one, like that. I'm in the same boat. That's why I haven't bought one. Then I do some branches on this way. Yep. See how that one's radius just a little bit? These should actually have been the same way. And I actually sent a message to the vendor, and I suggested, hey, maybe you want to arch them a little bit like you did that, because this right here goes on the rear end, all right? Now, don't be beating me up. This stuff is just rough pulled right now, so y'all just, I swear, man, the internet be going crazy, man. I can't believe you're going to leave that like that. No, I'm not going to leave it like that. So these brackets right here, I'm going to cut them, and I'm going to put them on that notch right there, all right? But actually, I'm going to get the truck at ride height and get this panhard bar level with the world. Now, don't be freaking out that the rear end's kicked up like that. It's got a two-piece dry shaft. So the truck, if this is representing all the way down, it's on jack stands. It can't drive anyway. When the truck's all the way down and you put it in gear, the wheels just spin. They don't even touch the ground. So I jacked it up to do something. I don't know what I did to jack it. I jacked it up for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to let the truck back down, put it at ride height, set the whole truck up at ride height, put jack stands underneath it, or blocks, cribbing, or whatever you want to call it, and keep it at ride height so it's level the way it's supposed to be. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut these off. I'm going to put them down there on that bracket, on that notch right there. We'll put them down there on that notch, okay? And once I get that on that notch, then I'm going to make it as long as I can make it. Make this panhard bar as long as I can make it, because it's pretty long. And then where it's at, then I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut this because it's not welded. It's just slid in. Then I'm going to notch this right here. and I'm going to tack that, and then I'm going to, so that actually, so if you was just thinking about it, the rear end would be here, right? This welds to the rear end, and then this welds to the rear end, you know, as a stiff leg. And then these pieces right here will be, they will be right here, like that. But of course they won't be like that because you won't be able to weld it. But you know, I'll cut it, I'll cut that much of it off. And I'll put that there, and then I'll tack that side, I'll make sure everything's good and copacetic. And then I will weld that bad boy in, and then the panhard bar will be done. And then I gotta get some, I don't know where they're at. They're probably behind the sheet metal. Probably so, just home tight. I gotta get some WD-40, yeah, I said it, and spray this sheet metal down. You see where it got a little surface rust on it. But anyway, I got the, oh, there they are, you big dummy. See, all this stuff is just sitting here. It's nothing screwed down. Because I got the metal. See, this piece here goes on there, and then it'll get plug welded, and then all this will get moved, and then it'll get sheet metaled, and then the plywood will get put back down, so the audio shop's got something to put on. So here's the brackets for the shocks. So I'll put them in there on the rear end at rod height, or excuse me, all the way down, and then put the tabs up there and then weld them in, and we're good to go. Also, I found, with help with my buddy Clayton Carson, I found, well, I say he found the fuel pump that I needed for the truck. And the part number I'm going to share with you guys is, part number is, it's a Carter pump. The part number is Charlie Romeo Tango Paul 5001. And that is a frame mounted pump with a regulator for TBI. And the reason why I need that is because of this right here. I cannot get inside this universal fuel cell that he got, and here's the universal fuel cell. I can't get in there to put a fuel pump on there. So I actually took the original fuel pump right there from the stock gas tank and tried to retrofit it in there, but no dice. Couldn't get it in there. Didn't have enough didn't have enough room. So Carter has an inline pump that pumps 15 psi, and that is what a throttle body system needs. Anywhere from, it's like 9.5 to 15 pounds max. So that Carter pump right there is the pump you need. So part number is Charlie Romeo Tango Paul 5001. So if anybody is doing whatever and you need an external frame mounted pump, that is the pump for a TBI. And it says it's 9 to 15 psi max. And that's what you need for a throttle body injection. And you could also use that for a carburetor, because the carburetor, and you could turn it down where it's like 9 if you wanted to, I guess. I don't know. Nevertheless. Now, look what came yesterday. Those are the frame rails and the end pieces for the frame for the 61 Ford box truck. And you're like, Jay, why ain't them things together? And I'm like, yep. So, done it this way, I don't know. Be honest with you, I don't know why. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. I don't know why it's that way. I know they killed my client for shipping. I know that much. But anyways, nevertheless, let's have a seat right here. So, nevertheless, there's the frame rails right there, and they're a little bit long, and those pieces there are a little bit long. That's the end pieces. So, I can put those in the saw and chop the ends of it off to do that. So, the suspension stuff is supposed to be ready to pick up. Probably gonna be next week now. Today's Wednesday, and I ain't heard nothing from them. So it's probably gonna be ready next week. And if it is, then I can go get it. Here's something else. Something else to you. My 2015 Silverado, which is way down yonder right there, has rear airbags on the back, right? And when I hear that, it has rear airbags, and the bags that are on the back are 9,001s. So when I tow a trailer, I put a little bit of air in it, so the truck, because it's got a 6-8 drop, so I put helper bags on the back to pump them up. Well, the bottom cup that holds the sleeve at the bottom, there is a knurled brass plug that's stuck into the bottom of the plastic, and then the bolt screws into the bottom and holds it on the bracket. That knurl come out, and when it came out, it let the bag pop up, and when the bag popped up, it kicked over a little bit, and the bag rubbed on the tire just lickety split, and it ruptured. So no bueno. So if I pump the bag up on the back, the truck does like this because they're independent, and if you put a trailer on it, you go down the road and you got like the side donkey. So nevertheless, that happened, and then so I'm hoping when they call and they say it's ready, I hope that bag gets here. I'm going to put red Loctite on it this time and tighten it down so that bad boy don't go nowhere. And then if they call and say it's ready, then I'll go get the stuff. The next thing that happened is my tractor. I'm telling you, boys. I'm telling you. So my tractor How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How about now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Let's read back. And so, what was the last thing you heard, boss man? And I'll start over. All right. Did you hear about the chassis? Did you hear about? Did you heard about? Okay, so that's where it cut off was the frame. Okay, so this is the frame rails and the end pieces for the 61 Ford box truck. Ah, Swanee. Elon Musk gonna fix it all. He just bought Microsoft. Y'all know that? Did you hear that? How'd you like that? Yeah, that was. Hey, yeah, that was. You heard me laugh. You didn't hear me, but you saw me laugh. Elon Musk just bought Microsoft. It's worth like $3 trillion. I'm telling you, man. You know, John Connor told these people, y'all better watch out. I'm telling you, y'all better watch out. John Connor tried to tell y'all. Tried to tell you. Sarah Connor tried to tell y'all. But anyways, let's get back to the chassis. Nothing worse than not being able to finish. That is true. So these are the frame rails for the 61 Ford box truck, and there's the end cap pieces that tie these two pieces together. And I know it's a little long. You don't hear that much. It's a little long, so I'll have to trim whatever. But the chassis, the suspension stuff should be ready. I hope it's not ready this week, because if it is, I got to do something different, because on my 2015 Silverado right there, the left rear bag is there's a knurl. There are 9,001 bags, sleeve bags, and in the corner, or the bolt that holds it in the bottom, I think it's 7/16. There's a knurl in there, and that knurl had that knurl come out of the plastic for whatever reason, made the bag come up, move over a little bit, get cattywampus, rubbed on the tire and ruptured the bag. So when I pump the airbags up, the truck sits like this at the back, sideways. And I can't tow no trailer like that, because I could probably tow the trailer to go get the suspension stuff, but I wouldn't want to tow a car, because it would make the whole truck do that. So I got a rear bag ordered. It's like $50 for a replacement bag. So once it gets here, I'm going to have to jack the truck up, take the wheels and tires off, unhook the passenger side bag. I'm gonna take the bolt out. I'm gonna put red Loctite on that one. Check that one. Then put red Loctite on the new one. Put it back in there, lickety split, and we'll be good to go. I guess the other people left because they couldn't hear nothing. But nevertheless, and then, let me get back up. Then the wheel fell off my tractor. Look at her. The wheel fell off my tractor. It ain't supposed to be like that. And I'm not saying that it fell off from the lug nuts. I'm saying it fell off from the bearing. The bearing ruptured. So let me tell you about the story about my tractor. So the tractor's got a warranty on it, and the tractor's got a warranty on it, and started leaking oil, right? And then I'm gonna watch this green little dot right there. I'm gonna watch that, make sure that green light goes out. We're gonna be out again, because I went to another microphone. Okay, great. So the front left hub was leaking oil. Took it to the John Deere place, which is about an hour away. They said they'd fix, it's under warranty. They said they'd fix it. They kept it forever. And then when I finally got it back, I drove it up there. Everything worked. Everything was good. Put it on the trailer. Got home. When I got home, underneath the wheel, there was a puddle of oil. I called back, and I said, it's still leaking. They said, well, what'd you do to it? I said, I didn't do nothing to it. It's still on the trailer. So the next day, I had to take it back up there, drop it off. They kept it for like 2-3 months, and then they called me and told me it was fixed. I go get it. I bring it back. I had it for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and I was up there bush hogging up there. I was bush hogging up there where my boy's buried at, in the field on the other side of the field. I was bush hogging, and I went to turn the wheel, and it started clock, 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 like a CV axle, right? Um, and I'm like, what is that? And I turned the bush hog off, and the wheel was jerking, right? So I finished bush hogging. I loaded it back up on the trailer. I come home. I washed it the next day. I looked at it, picked it up, and it's like you spin the wheel and you can feel it like something's grabbing. And those front axles, the planetary gear in there, they just float, right? They're floaters. So I call back up there and I tell them that, hey man, it's doing the same thing. And he's like, man, what'd you do to it? I said, I ain't done nothing to it, man. I mean, I'm using it. I mean, it's not me, you know. So I take it back up there. When I take it back up there, they keep it forever, forever. Then, then they tried to tell me that it wasn't normal wear and tire, and I kept driving it, and when it was making noises, and I made it worse, and blah blah blah, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess. So they fixed it. I get it back. I had like 798 hours on it. I got 2 hours on it, so I hit like 800. I went to unload the truck yesterday. Actually, I went to unload this, and as I was driving out to the truck to unload the tractor trailer, the driver said, "Hey man, you leaking oil or something?" And I looked down at the wheel, and it was just saturated in oil. And I'm like, "Are you serious, man?" So I get unloaded. I go back. I stop the tractor. I go look to where the tractor was sitting, and I did a video, and it's in my shorts. You can go watch my shorts here. There's a puddle of oil. I mean, a puddle. So I called John Deere. I actually called the service manager, and I tell him, he's like, man, what in the world? I said, dude, at this point, I just laugh, just laugh. I mean, I said, man, I don't know if y'all don't like me or what. I don't know what it is, but yeah, something ain't right. So they wouldn't give me the work order last time I was there to see what actually they replaced or why it kept leaking the last time. They just wouldn't give it to me. They just said it was fixed. But nevertheless, so I drive the tractor probably 50 or 60 yards down the driveway to get to the concrete so I can jack it up on the concrete with the jacks. And when I get down here, I get it up and I put the jack stands underneath it, take the weight off the wheel, and the wheel's just doing that. And I'm like, are you serious? I literally grabbed the wheel and pulled it slap out, spindle and all. The hook just pulled it completely out, and it's in my shorts. So go back and watch it in the shorts, and you can see it. The bearing hub, the retainer that held it in the hub was sheared completely off. You can't make this stuff up, man. so so my thing is, we're gonna put that right there. My thing is this. The thing is this. I can get mad. I could get mad. I could cuss everybody out, blah blah blah, whatever. And guess what? Tractor still ain't gonna be fixed. Tractor still won't be fixed. So I called them today and I said, "Hey, look, I have no way to get you the tractor. You're gonna have to send one of y'all's rollbacks down here to get it." And I didn't hear nothing from nobody until about after lunch. They sent me a message and said that they're working on getting one of their drivers to come get it. And man, it's planting season, man. It ain't going to fix it. It ain't going to fix it. I'm learning that. Yeah. yeah. Yeah, getting my a lot of things. I mean, I could have called up there, cussed him, slap out, whatever, blah blah blah, just this, whatever, and it still wouldn't have fixed it. It's still broke. It's still sitting here, you know. I'll get ugly if I have to get ugly, but I don't want to get ugly because, you know, we all make mistakes, including me. But here's the thing that just kills me. People hold me to a different standard. I mean, some people can get away with anything and people just brush it off. I have one little minute thing wrong or one little thing or whatever, you know, they'll be like, what's that right there? What's that right there? And then they'll just pull their friggin' hair out. That is what gets me sideways. I mean, you can go to McDonald's every day for a week and go through the drive-thru and order a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, hash browns, and a small coffee. And I guarantee you, if you go there every day for 7 days straight, I guarantee your order will be messed up at least 3 times out of the week. But guess what? You still keep going. But people in my world that I know, I mean, I was talking to a buddy yesterday. Guy hired him to he brought a vehicle, brought a truck, a late when I say late model, like a 90, 92, 93, 94 truck, and the engine was messed up in it. And he says, sure, man, we can pull the engine out, but I don't build the engines. I don't build them. I'll pull the engine out and I send it to a third party. That's what I do. I don't build them here. Do you see a machine shop around here? There ain't no machine shop around here. No. Just like the Impala. Gonna pull the engine and transmission out. I don't build engines here. Ain't going to. Never will. I won't even build my own engine. Take it somewhere where they do it. You know, so when I pull the engine and transmission out and take it to somebody else, that I took it to them. That's them, not me. That's them. So my buddy, this guy that I know, he had this hard body Nissan, and he pulled the engine out, took it to an engine shop, dropped it off. They went through it, top to bottom, left to right, whatever. They rebuilt the whole engine and put the engine in the truck. New clutch, pressure plate, you know, all that stuff's replaced, every bit of it, right? You know, those trucks run on a lot of vacuum and stuff like that. So you get all the vacuum lines, whatever. Guy has a truck for like 300 or 400 miles and something messes up in the truck. Starts running crazy. Just starts running terrible. I mean, just, you know, I mean, I won't get into a lot of it, what we talked about, but he said just started running terrible. So he gets the truck back and he drives it and he's like, man, it's just terrible. So they start checking things. They checking what they can check, plugs, wires, you know, see if got a bad ground, you know, stuff like that. See if there's something that they done. But then come to find out it's something internal, engine wise. Something's wrong with the engine. There's a noise, there's this, there's that, whatever. So he tells the guy, he's like, hey, look, man, he says, there's something wrong with the engine. We just have to pull the engine out and take it back to the shop and the engine shop and have them go through it and see what's wrong with it. Now, the engine shop gives a warranty, you know, like 36,000 mile warranty, right? This guy flips completely out and tells him, so like, I mean, just flips out. Tells him that, man, I give you, you know, $7,800 to fix my truck, and it's worse now than it was when I brought it to you, and blah, 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 and all this and all that and all that. And he said, whoa, big dog. You ain't give me $8,000 for nothing. And he's like, yeah, I did too. He's like, no. Everything that we did works. And he says, man, I'm so tired of it, man. He said, I'm thinking about just going to Lowe's and stacking lumber. And I said, yeah. He says, he's mad at me. He's mad at me because there's something wrong with the engine. I didn't build the engine. Now, I did use this shop. That shop built it. But that shop will stand behind it. You know, if there's something wrong with the engine, of course there's something wrong with it. It's going on. They'll tear it down. They'll rebuild it and they put it back in. You know, they'll tear it down. But my friend, the guy I know, he's got to pull the engine out of the hard body and do all that. So guess what? You're going to have to pay again. Who pays that? I'm asking. Ginger Rogers 7-Eleven, who pays that? So if the engine's bad because something happened at the engine shop, whatever, the engine's bad, and it was put in the truck and it's been in there for like 400, 500, 600 miles, the engine goes out, the truck gets brought back to the shop that put it in there. Who pays the bill for taking the engine back out? Is it the engine shop? Is the client? Or does the shop owner have to eat that? Bad engine at the shop, he eats that, not you. So my phone's down to 9%. So who eats it? The engine shop? Is that what you're saying? The engine shop eats it? Who eats the labor? Who's responsible for the labor pulling the engine out the second time? That's my question. I want to try to get the consensus. So this guy I know pulls the, you shouldn't have to, the engine shop. So are you saying that the engine shop should pay my buddy the labor to pull the engine back out and put the engine back in and replace all the fluids, the oils, the coolant, and all that? Is that what you're saying? Okay, got you. Yeah, me too. I mean, that's on the engine shop. That's not on that. That's not my. I don't want to say his name because I don't want. He told me the story yesterday. I'm just sharing. I was consensus. I was asking him because he asked me. He said, "Who's supposed to eat that labor warranty?" Correct. That he asked me. He's like, "Man, I can't." He says, "I can't eat that." He says, "I can't eat that." He said, "I did my part." And I said, "Correct." Now I've had to eat some stuff before that wasn't even mine that I had to eat just because, and I'm not doing it no more. I'm not doing it no more. Not doing it. Like, paint and stuff like that, not doing it. It's a PPG problem. PPG replaces it. And they pretty good about that. If I follow the P sheet to the letter and I've been doing it a while and something happens, they'll take apart, they'll take, I've seen them sometimes if it's questionable what happened, they will take samples off of the vehicle and they'll send it off. And now you got to trust the bureaucracy of that crap of like, are they going to throw you under the bus? Or are they going to be transparent, whatever, and say, why did something fail? Then most of the time they come back and they say operator error, meaning that you done something wrong so they don't have to eat it. My dad makes paint. It's nice. You talking about mix? You talking about makes paint like he's a chemist? I'm down to 8% on my battery. My dad makes color. What? Is he a chemist? Okay. So he's a mixologist. That's what they call ourselves today. Mixologist. So when you say mixes paint, like for a paint company, like what you talking about? You don't have to tell me. So he's a mix. Oh, I don't know the exact word that they're calling themselves now. A mixologist. So they have a name now. That's cool. That's cool. Mixologist. That's a bartender. Mixes the colors. Yeah. The pigments. He takes the pigments and makes colors. Man, that's cool. I got something that I've been working on that I'm not even gonna my lips to God's ears. I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want to jinx it. But I've been looking into something different, and I'm kind of excited about it. But that's about as far as I'm gonna go with it. On that front, also, the phone that I'm using right now, is I'm still working on that handheld. Say it. We go. I have to say before we go. I have a question. All right, what's your question? I'm at 8% right now. On this phone right here is an iPhone 11 Pro Max, and it's 11, and they're up to a 16 now. So it did an update the other day and started acting weird. So, and the battery life don't last very long. I think the battery health's like 68% or something. So, went to there's an Alltel shop about an hour away or 45 minutes away. So I went to the Alltel shop and see if they put a battery in it. And he's like, why you want to put a battery in it? And I said, well, the battery life and all this, whatever. And he's like, dude, why don't you just get a new phone? He said, this thing is he said, this thing's an iPhone 11 Pro Max. And he said, man, it's in good shape. And I said, yeah, considering it's in a case and considering what I do for a living, she's been rough. Now the speaker don't work because it's full of filler, Bondo dust, or excuse me, Bondo's a brand, filler, dust, whatever. So, he said, it looks good, took it out of the case, whatever. And he says, well, he said, we'll give you this much money. I'm not going to say it out loud. He said, we'll give you this much money for your phone. And I'm like, you just told me that this thing couldn't handle another update. And he says, this is what he said. He said, yeah, it won't handle another update here. But what they'll do is we'll send it back to Apple. Apple will refurbish it and send it to a third world country. And it'll be the best thing since sliced bread. That's what he said. I mean, from his lips to my ears, from my ears to my lips to your ears. That's what he said. He said, your phone will be the best thing since sliced bread at another company, right? Or another country. I said, yeah. He said, yeah. I said, well, what number y'all up to right now? He said, we up to 16 Pro Max. Well, it's not Max. It's called something else. I said, I'm not paying for no upgrade, and I'm not under a contract, whatever. He said, well, we got this promotion going on. If you will trade your phone in, we will give you this much for your phone. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. I said, man, that's crazy. That's bananas. He said, yeah. He says, but since, plus we will waive I said, as long as it don't cost me no money, I'll do it. He said, it'll cost you $35 for new activation fee. And then he says, the insurance that you have on your phone right now, I think it's like $9.99. I said, yeah. He said, that don't cover the phone. He said, good God Almighty, man. He said, how long you been with AT&T? I said, well, I'm fixing to blow your mind. I said, I've been with Alltel. He said, who? I said, Alltel. I said, I was with Alltel in 1992. I've had the same phone number since 1992. So if you can't find me, that's your problem, not mine. I said, I stayed with Alltel until Montgomery County was one of the last counties in North Carolina that was still Alltel. And then the FCC finally let AT&T merge all of Alltel. Then I never jumped ship. So I had a Razor flip phone. And he said, right. I says, and then when they merged out, they sent me a new phone, an iPhone. And I says, it was like an iPhone 5 or 6 or something. And I kept that phone all the way up to an iPhone, the one I have now, that's 11. And he says, really? I said, yeah, man. I said, he says, well, I'll tell you, he says, well, they have a promotion right now that they will waive the phone fee if you trade this phone in. I said, okay. And I said, we won't be on a contract. No. He said, no. He said, but the $9.99 that you have on insurance will not cover anything on an iPhone, period. I mean, just nothing. It's just dirt. So he suggested, he said, Pulled up my account. He said, "You have 4 other phones on this account." I said, "Correct. I have four phones on this account." He says, "Well, for $50 a month, that will cover all 4 phones unlimited. Brakes, batteries, tech, what unlimited replacement at $50 a month." I said, "So basically, so basically $600 a year insurance on 4 phones." He said, "Pretty much." I said, "Okay, that's a no-brainer." So I got a brand new phone, which is iPhone 16 Plus Magnum, whatever, with 1 terabyte. So yeah, I ain't even took it out of the box. So, all right, let's see. All right, your message just come through. "This is my wife's build. I am doing a 4L80 transmission with a 5.3 GM. Should I upgrade the torque converter? I'm doing a stage 2. All right, so should I upgrade the torque converter? All right, so what's the cam? So my question, what's the cam specs? So what does the cam say, right? So for example, one example, my 53, my 54. Sorry, girl, I didn't mean to cuss you like that. I'm sorry. My 54 Bel Air here. It has a 383 stroker, low compression with 142 cubic inch blower with fuel injection. All right. So it is geared 355 and a 9-inch positive rear end. All right. So you got to think about your tire size. So I'm running a 28-inch tall tire in the back, and I'm running a 355 gear. The cam that I have is a supercharger cam from Lenati, and they said that I should have told them the vehicle I had, and they said I need anywhere from a 2,500 to a 3,200, 2,800 to a 3,000 stall. Okay, so I have a 3,000 stall in that car. Runs up the road, shifts, whatever. I can literally put it in drive, put my foot on the brake, and hit the pedal, the gas pedal, and run it up to 2,600 RPM, and it'll just sit there, and it won't do nothing. Hit 2,800 RPM, won't do nothing. Hit 3,000, the wheels will start breaking loose. So I'll check with you. So you find out what the cam spec is and what converter that it would like. Then you have to find out what the cam manufacturer, then talk to the cam manufacturer and say, "Hey, look, this is what I have. This is the gear I'm running in the rear. This is the size of tire that I'm running, and this is what it's going in. So what stall converter do I need?" For example, when the client bought the automatic transmission, the AOD automatic, the Ford automatic 3-speed with overdrive, when he bought that to go behind this 302 for this box truck, it come out of a Mustang. And he said they had a 2,200 stall in it. So the engine, the 302 engine, has a stage 2 cam. So I talked to the transmission shop because I dropped the transmission off and had a transmission. What rear end do you think? That goes with the tire size. So 373 is a good gear. Is a good all around gear. That's a good all around. Plus with a 4-speed, the 4L80, that's a good overspeed. That's a good train. That's a good spit it out, Jay. Ain't nobody gonna take it from me. That's a good 373 gears. Everybody 373 gears. Now it depends on your tire size. So if you're gonna run your tire size, your overall tire size. So if you're gonna run a 28-inch tall tire, burning tire steel will be, let's see. Yeah. So, it'll burn tire. Yeah. At 373, it'll burn them. At 350, it'll burn them. So if you're running a 28-inch tall tire and a 373 gear, with overdrive. And I can't remember the gear ratio of a 4L80. So you'll have to go look that up. I don't know that off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up myself. So back to the box truck. And then I'm gonna get off here because I'm down to 6%. With the box truck, I told the transmission guy, I said, look, this is a stall, this is brand new, whatever. He said, you'll be fine because you're going to run a 28-inch tall tire. You're running the gear ratio that we're running in the 9-inch for the box truck, and the box truck weight is similar to the weight of the Mustang. So we should be good. He said you should be all right. So, but yeah. All right. Been on here for 62 minutes and we was muted there for a minute. But I'm going to get off here. I'm down to 3%. And I'm going to get some stuff buttoned up. And I'm going to try to go live again tomorrow. Hey, look, Ginger Rogers. I'm just asking to keep it dependable. Me personally, I would go 373. I would run a 28-inch tall tire without even looking up no numbers or no nothing. I'd run a 28-inch tall tire, OD tire, the OD. So you could run a 20-inch rim as long as the OD is 28 inches, 28-inch OD tire. I would run a 28-inch tire, 373 gears with a 4L80 all day, every day, and wouldn't even look. I wouldn't even look up. I would just, the only thing I would look up is the torque converter. I would look up the cam specs for the torque converter and tell them what it's going in, and then you would know what your torque converter is. Hey, them the 8.8, the disc brakes with a conversion, I got one of them sitting on the rack. Those I would go with a Ford Explorer, the 8.8 with a disc brake convert. Yes, we do. So if you get a 9-inch, you're gonna leave the drum brakes. You're gonna have to go through them. You'd have to measure the width to see on the 8.8, the Ford Explorer. I know the Ford Explorer rear end will fit into the backside of a 93 YJ. I got one for a 93 YJ years ago for my YJ. Never did the conversion. Just left the rear end, the stock rear end. Yeah, the 8.8, the 8.8's fine. I mean, they're good. I mean, I think I can't remember. I don't want to say and tell you wrong. I don't know what they're rated as. S10 it will fit. Well, then I would go with an 8.8. I'd get me a Ford Explorer rear end. I would look for one with a factory Ford locker. And you usually can find them in 4-wheel drives. And then I'd roll with it. That's what I would do. I'd roll with it. All right, boys and girls. So I'm gonna try to go schedule again tomorrow. I'm gonna try to schedule every day at 5 o'clock. Go live every day at 5 o'clock if I can remember and if I got something to give y'all. All right, boys and girls. Remember what I said? Don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch, start sweeping off anybody else's. But God first, let loose and drag. Peace out and chick grease and map.